What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I am back again for another video as we do a review of the Blackpool game that happened yesterday, of course. Now, I don't even know where to start with this, to be honest with you. I really don't, because unfortunately, it was, another display that I felt personally wasn't good enough. I think if you look at the basics, if you can't do the basics right, then you're gonna struggle to win football matches. That's the reality. The amount of loose passes that were going wayward at times. So many occasions where you saw that as well. It's just not good enough. The standards need to be set higher, in my opinion. And if they're not, then you have to ask yourself why. Jack Redoni again, another star name. He doing his best for the team as always. Actually was unlucky to not score in the game yesterday, if I'm honest with you. Obviously a great strike from distance. Great effort, but good save by the keeper, obviously. But he deserved that to go in. Again, I feel like I'm repeating the same things over and over again here, but the goal that we conceded was so poor. It came from an error, and obviously Kessler Hayden, he got to the ball first, and then obviously he gave it away, and then obviously there were a breakaway, and Blackpool breakaway, obviously get the ball in the box. So the first effort hits the post, it rebounds out to a Blackpool player who slots it home, and it is 1-0. Which pretty much sums up how our season is going so far, if I'm honest with you. It's just not good enough defensively again, like I said, and it really is worrying times, as a fan at the moment, if I'm honest. I think if you look at the season so far, you could say it's still early days, but I don't think any team that has played us this season have had an easier game than I think that also another thing worth noting is that I feel that the teams that we played against, okay, we played against like some Norwich, Burnley, all great sides, but did we really come off the pitch in them games, for example, and say that we did our absolute best and we we came off the pitch thinking, okay, the best team won? It wasn't necessarily like that, was it? Really, from where I saw it anyway. And then obviously look at the likes of that Birmingham game, and the likes of Blackpool yesterday. These are games that we should be winning. No disrespect to any of the teams like that, but we have to be targeting points against these teams. And if we don't get those points against the teams, then there is massive problems. More controversy yesterday, yet again. Technology. Here we are, technology is supposed to help the game, so-called, according to the top people at the top. But yet, we find ourselves talking about technology in the most negative ways possible, when it should be all positive, surely. That's why the technology was brought in, like goal line technology, like VAR was brought in. But if you don't use the technology correctly, then how is it expected to be positive? How is it expected to be beneficial to everybody, not just the top four, so-called top four big clubs, should I say, in the Premier League, who, of course, get all the decisions for them. Let's talk about this then. Like I said, brilliant delivery, and obviously Nakayama obviously clearly gets the ball across line. You could see the amount of replays that you've seen from this. It was clearly over the line, and by an inch or two, by the way, not even close. And the fact that the referee points to the fact that it was obscured his view. Well, hang on a minute. There's a linesman right along the line that should be able to see it. I'm sorry, and if you can't see it, I could see it from my seat, and I'm not even on the line. So how the linesman didn't see it anyway is beyond me. But the bottom line is this goal line technology. If it's not reliable enough, if it doesn't work, then get rid of it and get something new in that will work. Because I'm sorry, but if the watch wasn't working, then why? Why wasn't it working? Because there's just no excuses for it. I'm just absolutely gobsmacked. I really am. Like I said, we were 1-0 down at the time. And, had we imposed ourselves a bit more than we had done in the match before that, maybe we would have been winning 1 or 2-0 anyway. But again, that doesn't disguise the fact of this situation with the technology. And, it should be working at all times. It should be tested thoroughly before the match. Make sure it is working correctly. There's no excuses. And then, let's read the EFL statement that they made this morning then, because I'm reading it and I'm thinking to myself, I'm scratching my head really at this statement that I'm seeing. I'll give my reaction to it afterwards. Here's the statement. The EFL is incredibly frustrated that a technology failure at Huddersfield Town and Blackpool has overshadowed a fantastic weekend of action on the pitch. We have now received an initial assessment from Hawkeye, the providers of the goal line technology service in the Championship, that during a second half incident with Huddersfield attacking, the match officials did not receive a signal to their watch or earpiece as, due to multiple factors, the ball was no longer being tracked following it entering the Blackpool goal area. Separately, PGMOL have confirmed officials were unsighted due to obstruction by players and therefore unable to award a goal. While the system was tested and functional prior to the start of the game, further information is expected from both Hawkeye and PGMOL following a full review of the incident. Technology is there to support the decision-making process of match officials in the Championship. It fell in such a manner on Sunday is a matter of great concern. For clarity, the referee's decision is final and the match result stands. Now, let me give my reaction to this, because I think it is just a complete and utter cop-out. I really do. The fact that they say they're incredibly frustrated by this, then how do they think we feel, as fans, that have been to this game, and witnessed such a shocking decision that is inexcusable. It really is. So they're not frustrated at all. So I don't see that at all from that. And then obviously it goes on to say about apparently the technology was tested before the game. Well, how come it stopped then? If it was tested thoroughly before the game, why didn't it work then? But I'm not sure what they're expecting us fans to say about this statement. I really don't, because there's no excuses. And like I said earlier, if the technology doesn't work, then get rid of it and get something else in, because we need, you cannot afford to be having decisions go against you like this in the Championship or any league for that matter. So yeah. And then, like I said, they're saying they're going to investigate the situation as well. What's that going to do? It's not going to do anything. You can investigate it all you want, but I can tell you now, there won't be an outcome that will feel like it's been investigated. They're just saying they're investigating it because that's the protocol they have, probably. But yeah, it's. I've ranted enough about this, but as you can see, it's just one failure after another, and this isn't the first time, as we know, that technology has not gone in our favour, and that is all I'm going to say on it. But like I said, ultimately though, this ended in another defeat, another costly defeat at that. So we sit second bottom in the league, with 4 points from 21. That is nowhere near good enough. It really isn't. It's awful, if I'm honest. And obviously you can look to the fact is that we, obviously lost our manager within a few weeks of the season, obviously starting, and we lost key players. But I still feel like we have enough quality throughout the team to be able to compete better than we have, and we just haven't. I mean, obviously Schofield, he's coming under pressure increasingly now. I'm sorry, but I absolutely love Schofield. Don't get me wrong, and I think he's a great guy. Obviously he's an ex-player. He did brilliant when he was with us. Playing. Do I think that he should have got the job in the first place? I don't think so. I don't think he was ready for such a big job like this, if I'm honest. And it's kind of proving to be the case, unfortunately for him. I question. I go back to it. You've got to play players in the positions. To me yesterday, Hogg is not a central defender. He's not. He's better further up in the middle of the back, in the pivot role. Protecting the back four or back three. He's not a central defender. And then, like I say, you've got Sorba Thomas playing out of position. I don't get that either. Why is he playing on, in that position when he should be on the other flank? And, strange substitutions at strange times as well. I don't get the personnel at times. Like I say, I loved Jonathan Russell last season. I really did. But what he's producing on the pitch now is nowhere near good enough. And maybe he's being found out now because of the fact that Lewis O'Brien isn't covering the hard yards like he always used to do. But he's just not doing anything, and he's not able to get in the match. It's too easy to go past him. Constantly going backwards. When he does play the odd forward pass, he probably loses it anyway. I'm just running out of words to describe this. I mean, I think with 7 games in, we have to be realistic here, and we have to realise that I don't really think is the most sensible option going forward. In the nicer ways to keep Schofield in the job, I just don't think he is able to do it at this time. And I do feel like there is a change that is needed, if I'm honest. And like I said, these next few games, by the way, that we've got are even massive now. If you look at the fixture list, we've got QPR, obviously next on Saturday. That's away. And then we have got Wigan at home on the Tuesday night next week. And then we've got Cardiff. In all due respects, Wigan have just come up from League One. I'm not saying they're not going to be a challenge, but we need to be beating teams like Wigan. Cardiff have started off the season very slowly too, and we're at home again in that one. So this is a massive period now for us, and we cannot afford to be dropping many points. I mean, I'd probably take a point at Queen's Park Rangers. Wigan, we have to be winning. Like I say, we're at home. It's Tuesday night, and then Cardiff on the Saturday at home. We have to be winning that as well. But I just don't know where we go from here, if I'm honest with you. I think that obviously we need to integrate the new lads in now. Obviously Healy didn't play for whatever reason on yesterday, which, to be honest with you, I think he should have done. If he was on the bench and he was fit enough to be on the bench, you should be putting him in the squad and playing Hogg further forward instead of putting Hogg in that central defensive role, which clearly he doesn't, clearly isn't the most effective in. Mbete should be available for the game on Saturday. And yeah, we need to throw them in now because, like I say, defensively, we have just been awful. I mean, if you look at it, "15 goals conceded in 7 games." Now, that is, yeah, I don't even need to comment on it, but that is not very good. And like I say, we are, we have to be getting results and quick, because, and I've said this on previous streams, but I mean it now, because, okay, the table doesn't matter right now, does it? It matters at the end of the season, and I accept that. But when there is a gap emerging, now it's at 4 points, the gap. When a gap is emerging, it is worrying. And like I say, it is very worrying times. I don't, I thought the Stoke game, when we won the Stoke game, I thought it was going to be a defining moment. But it hasn't been. Obviously, we've just not kicked on like I thought we would have done. Because we've lost 3 and drawn 1 after that moment. So, yeah, it really is deflating. It really is hard to take at the moment, I must admit. You can sense the frustration in the stands, like I say, obviously yesterday. And yeah, it's something has to change, and quickly. And I do believe that we have to be making a ruthless decision in terms of the managerial department now. I think that there's been no signs of improvement at all. And if they don't part ways with him now, which I think, in all due respects, it should happen now, if more on honesty. I was expecting maybe an announcement this morning, if I'm being brutally honest. But if things don't change over the next 3 games, and obviously there's an international break after that, then I think it is best to obviously, he needs to step down as the manager. Sadly, I really did hope and want it to work for him, but it clearly isn't working, and that's the reality. So yeah, like I say, guys, that is it from me, to be honest with you. I think I've kind of said everything I want to say. We can only hope it gets better. We can only hope we can get a win on Saturday against a QPR side that, yeah, it's going to be difficult, especially at Loftus Road. And yeah, and then obviously, yeah. So yeah, kind of lost my track of thought. But yeah, sorry for ranting, guys, but I need to get things off my chest, to be honest with you. It's just one of those things, So yeah, if you like this video, please hit the like button. It would help with the algorithm of this video to help get it noticed. Please subscribe if you are new around here. I would really appreciate that. We are on the road to 200 subscribers. And drop your comments below as well. Let me know what you think about the game yesterday, and also what do you think should happen with the manager now. Do you think that he should leave, or do you think he should give him a few more games, see what happens, and then if it doesn't improve by Cardiff, or after Cardiff, should I say, sorry, do you think it is time for a change? Let me know. But yeah, have a great rest of the week, everyone. I will be back for the next video in the coming days as I do a preview to QPR. So please do check that out when it comes out. But yeah, thanks for listening, and I'll see you on the next one.